Hello, friends. Today I've brought a fantastic movie for all of you. You'll all love this movie, and I request that you please watch the movie till the end, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.
The story begins. A joint operation of the CIA and Special Forces carried out a mission to obtain a radiological device belonging to suspected terrorist Amin Mansour. Intel showed that the bomb he was carrying had an impact radius of up to 5 miles or 8 kilometers. At 3:40 in the port of Virginia, they were seen monitoring the location to thwart the bombing mission in downtown Washington, D.C. At this time, the target's men were observed checking the identity of the container. The raid mission, led by a CIA agent named Jennifer Lomax, aka Jenny, was successful in a short time, but after opening the container, Jenny found nothing. She only saw a frightened enemy. She interrogated the man in Arabic, but he admitted that he knew nothing about the smuggling. Elsewhere, a CIA officer named Mike Marshall is interrogating the wife of a suspected terrorist. The pregnant woman is Nisha Mansour, a British citizen of Arab descent. Mike asked Nisha to persuade her husband, named Amin, to show his smuggled goods. Amin himself has been arrested and will soon be taken to the pickup location. However, Nisha did not know what to say to Amin, who had left her for months. However, for humanitarian reasons, Nisha must be able to persuade Amin. Long story short, Mike and his team took Nisha to the airport to await Amin Mansour's arrival. Mike was immediately greeted by Jenny, who had cleared the airport for everyone's safety. She then volunteered for another task, but Mike only told her to accompany Nisha. This task made Jenny feel undervalued, even though she always managed to complete dangerous tasks, such as taking down drug dealers and becoming a Russian spy. Soon after, Amin arrives at the airport escorted by a Special Forces officer named Jake Harris, who is known as the best Navy SEAL in the United States. He even managed to eliminate all the terrorists. Seeing his wife, Amin immediately approached. Apparently, he just found out that Nisha was pregnant. This made him immediately feel guilty for leaving her for a long time. While Amin was talking to his wife, Mike expressed his disappointment in Jack, who chose to accept Amin's pickup mission and caused Mike's troops in the Polish mission to die. Hearing that, Jack did not accept it, especially since his troops were also slaughtered in the mission. Jack also explained that Amin was targeted by a group of experts, and he suspected Amin was involved in something bigger. Therefore, Jack chose to stay to find out more about Amin. Hearing this reason, Mike didn't seem to care, because for him, Jack's job was done after Amin got to him. After that, Mike asked his assistant, Agent Hooper, to escort Jack out of the airport. Because you left, at the same time, Jack's wife called. She was very relieved that Jack survived because she heard that his other colleagues were killed. They're here. Suddenly, while Jack was on the phone with his wife, he heard a glimpse of the conversation of 3 suspicious men passing by. Jack ended the call and headed downstairs quietly. A container terminal in Virginia. Downstairs, he saw a group of armed men dragging a corpse. Seeing this, Jack moved to immobilize them. A shootout ensued until the CIA team finally helped. Jack and Hooper escorted Amin and his wife to get into the van safely. Amin claimed not to know who they were. Instead, he protested to Jack, who promised to make sure everyone was safe. On the way out of the airport, it turned out that there were still many armed forces and blocked Hooper's car. The shootout continued until Hooper was shot. Fortunately, Nisha is a doctor, so Hooper can immediately be given emergency treatment. Hooper, who lost a lot of blood, began to lose concentration. Nisha continued to talk to her to keep her conscious. Unfortunately, Hooper did not survive and eventually died. The remaining CIA agents tried to provide protection, and the driver immediately retreated to avoid the siege. Unfortunately, the windshield was pierced and the driver was killed. The troops told them to get out of the car. However, Jack did not give up. He swiftly finished off all the enemies that came his way, despite being outnumbered. In the end, Amin, Nisha, and Jack re-entered the airport terminal and looked for a safe place. They entered the cargo warehouse.
Jack told Nisha to call for help, but apparently her cell phone signal was blocked, whereas Amin suggested that they wait for reinforcements in that place. Jack immediately dismissed Amin's suggestion. He said reinforcements would not come. The estimated standard response time for the airport tactical team was a maximum of 7 minutes, but no one had arrived for 9 minutes. The airport police were also likely dead, So whoever these people were, they must really want Amin. They then went up the stairs. Meanwhile, the troops targeting Amin were close behind them, now combing every spot. However, Jack finished them off quietly by taking advantage of the warehouse conditions and using Amin and Nisha as bait. Jack managed to defeat the group chasing him. Before defeating the group, Jack noticed that they did not shoot Amin. Therefore, Jack immediately asked Amin where the bomb was located to prevent more casualties. Full of anger, he urged Amin. Nisha also persuaded Amin to tell the location of the bomb. However, Amin refused to tell him because he knew Jack would no longer protect him if Amin told him where the bomb was. So, Jack had no choice but to take them both to safety. Elsewhere, it is revealed that the group is a former military led by Robert Jackson. With qualified military equipment, Robert and his men managed to control the airport CCTV. They were also able to manipulate the news about the gas leak at the airport so that they could fully control the airport. Robert finally brought the head of operations to show the location of the cargo. However, only Amin knew the location of the cargo that Robert was looking for. Therefore, he took the head of operations to see the CCTV in which Mike and the remaining CIA members were recorded. However, the main target was Amin. After seeing Amin and Jack in the CCTV footage, he asked the man to take him to the location accompanied by several soldiers. However, upon arrival, Jack had hidden and made the head of operations think Jack was somewhere else. Before Jack left, he occasionally asked Amin to tell him where the bomb was. Eventually, Amin admitted that the shipping container was just a decoy. He knew that he was being watched, so he changed the shipment without the knowledge of the orderer. However, Amin did not know who the orderer was since the transaction only took place over the phone. When Jack wanted to meet Mike, Amin was hesitant because the shipment was only known by the CIA. Therefore, he suspected that there were spies in the CIA who leaked information to the enemy. However, Jack had no other choice. Mike was the only person who could get them out of the airport. Moments later, they ran into mercenaries. Jack managed to kill one of them. However, Nisha's voice was heard, so they knew Jack's position. Another shootout ensued between Jack and the mercenaries. After a fierce fight, the three of them finally met up with Mike and other CIA agents, while the mercenaries decided to retreat. In the midst of a tense situation, Mike showed Amin the footage of Jenny conducting a search mission for empty containers. After Jenny arrived, based on information obtained from Jenny's superiors, Mike immediately said that the mission at the port was an unauthorized mission. Hearing the accusation, Jenny tried to refute it. However, Mike suddenly pointed his gun and asked Jenny to hand over the weapon. Mike's suspicions were strengthened when Amin heard Jenny's voice speaking in Arabic. Amin realized that Jenny was the orderer who contacted him. He said that Jenny told him to make a bomb and take it to America. He also said that Jenny diverted the plane to the airport because she knew there was a bomb at the airport. Jenny continues to deny it and says that her multilingual skills were part of her training. Then Jack tries to get Amin to think carefully. Amin doesn't change his stance. He's convinced that Jenny is the orderer. Amidst the tension between them, a squad of airport soldiers suddenly appear to attack. Jack tries hard to protect Amin and Nisha, but he is defeated when fighting with his bare hands. Meanwhile, outnumbered, the mercenaries are able to kill the entire CIA team and capture Amin and Nisha. Jennifer then took Amin to a room, and Amin, who still didn't understand why he was being targeted, asked where he would be taken. Jenny also told him that after realizing Amin's container shipment was empty,
she immediately checked Amin's export company. She got info that Amin sent air cargo to the airport 4 days ago from Istanbul. The next question is, if Jenny already knows, why is Amin still needed? Even though she knew the bomb was sent to the airport, she wanted to shorten the time to ask Amin for the serial number of the cargo crate. Jenny intends to detonate the bomb during the president's speech and eliminate important American officials in one place. According to security protocol, if there is a radioactive threat, important officials will be secured simultaneously. At the same time, Jenny will take the officials' fingerprints, which she will later use to access America's military defense strategy. By doing so, America would be brought to its knees, and she could sell the strategy data to other countries that wanted to buy. Amin then realizes that Jenny wants to make the attack look like a terrorist attack. Jenny explained that she needed to make the threat convincing. If it was based on rumors, the White House would not have evacuated. Afterwards, Jenny again asks for the cargo serial number. However, Amin refuses to give it. So Jenny is very upset and starts torturing Amin. Despite being tortured in such a way, Amin was still unwilling to give the serial number, so Jenny decided to use another method, namely involving Amin's wife. However, when one of the mercenaries was told to pick up Nisha, Nisha had already managed to escape. By sending 2 mercenaries, they began to split up to comb the airport to find Nisha. Jack, who happened to see one of them, immediately ambushed from the other direction. At the same time, the other mercenary managed to find Nisha. After a short fight, Jack managed to save Nisha. He wore the uniform of the dead mercenary to disguise himself as one of them. Then Jack asked Nisha to trust him by pretending to be a hostage. Finally, they returned to Jenny's presence. Upon arriving at the place where Amin was being abused, Jenny immediately threatened to kill Nisha if Amin did not give her his serial number. Nisha also supported her husband not to give the serial number. Then Jenny told Jack to take off Nisha's bulletproof vest and hit her in the stomach. Not wanting anything happen to his wife, Amin finally gave the serial number of the bomb cargo crate. Jenny also told her other men to give the serial number to Robert. However, Amin's suffering was not finished. Jenny gave Amin a piece of note and told him to read the contents of the note on camera. Later, the video will be distributed to the media, and Jenny will use it to convince the White House about the bomb threat. Amin tried to refuse Jenny's orders many times, but Jenny again threatened to shoot Nisha. Therefore, Amin could not help but obey. After Amin fulfilled the request, Jenny felt that Amin was of no use anymore, so she immediately killed Amin. Without guilt, Jenny immediately left. Service cameras. At that time, Jack had the opportunity to attack the other mercenaries who were still in the room. Meanwhile, Nisha tried to save Amin. However, the location of the shot did not allow Amin to survive. After Amin was killed, Jack, who was still undercover, chased Jenny and arrived at the subway station. Here, he met other mercenaries. However, his cover is blown because Jack doesn't know the soldier's code. A fierce fight ensues on the train. Jack now fights with a knife in his bare hands, and when the train stops at a station, Jack rushes to escape. Before Jack can finish off the mercenary, enemy reinforcements open fire on Jack, forcing him to find a place to hide. He finds a warehouse, and when the mercenaries suddenly appear in the warehouse, he takes them out one by one with ease. Finally, Jack arrives at the runway and sees Robert and his men carrying a container containing a radioactive bomb. After confirming the bomb, they turned off the signal blocking device to contact their boss. Jack, who saw this, immediately contacted the FBI for help. He also explained that Jenny was from the special forces who had defected. Before the mercenaries could take the bomb away in an ambulance, Jack shot them all. Moments later, the fight between Robert and Jack ensued. In the fight, finally, Jack managed to defeat Robert and handcuff him. However, when Jack was about to kill Robert, Robert said that Jack would not be able to face Robert's gang. Instantly, Jack remembered Jenny, who had entered the plane. He rushed after her. Container terminal in Virginia. After successfully ambushing Jenny, help finally arrived. And that's where this story comes to an end.
If you liked the movie, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. See you in the next video.